is Josh Vector, and today we're going to break down what exactly a human resource administrator does. We have a lot of questions on this topic, like how can I become an HR administrator? What are the qualifications that I need in order to become one? And what are the roles and responsibilities in the office? So these are just a few of the questions that I'll be answering in today's topic. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you can get notifications of all new HR videos that we post on insightful new tips in HR and different job roles and how to become a better HR professional. Again, my name is Josh. I'm the founder of HR University and I have over 6 years of HR experience. So let's go ahead and dive in. An HR administrator supports the human resources department. Some examples of the HR administrative tasks include maintaining and organizing employee records, like updating internal databases and managing HR documents. They are also part of the employee onboarding process that involves tasks like preparing new hire paperwork on their starting day, training new hires for any tools that are used in the office, and office walkthroughs and orientation. And they often set up meetings with the team. They're the first point of contact for HR-related questions from employees, and they often handle employee compensation and benefits, which is another very important task of an HR administrator. And they are often tasked with dealing with the health insurance, bonus payments, Social Security, payment allowance, and retirement benefits of the employee. So there's a lot of responsibility there. Let us look at the first example of the employee onboarding process in an organization. One of the most vital but tedious manual HR processes in employee onboarding includes creating an email account, adding the employee to mailing lists, generating a phone extension sometimes, updating lists with the employee's data, requesting an access card, creating an account, maybe that's an email account, whatever that might be, sending information, material, and login details, giving new hires access to the software or electronic files that they require. And the second example is typically a total compensation breakup that is sent to employees once a year. A total compensation statement includes the monetary costs of all forms of compensation on the part of the employer. This includes direct compensation like regular pay, gross wages, and extra financial compensation such as bonuses or commissions. The next part is the indirect compensation, which includes Social Security, unemployment tax, workers' compensation, and more. The last part is the indirect compensation, employer-paid benefits, which entail the health insurance, employer-paid portion of retirement plan contributions, insurance premiums, and paid time off benefits. This summary of indirect compensation is often referred to as the hidden paycheck. Although total compensation statements are not legally required, knowing the full value of their compensation packages can help increase employee morale and loyalty. Engagement surveys show that 50% of employees would leave their job for better employee benefits. To understand the role of an HR administrator in an organization, you must know that they are vital to the success of every business and every employee. This human resource model provides a context to understand the important role of an HR administrator. This human resource model provides a context to understand the important role that an HR administrator plays in today's organizations. The role of HRM professionals, or human resource management professionals, has dramatically evolved over the years. There are 3 different roles that the department may play in the organization. They are as follows. You have strategic, you have operational, and you have administrative. As you can see, the strategic role forms the link between the human resources staff, the organizational mission, and the work of those in the organization. And this takes about 10% of the HR's administrator time, and it's something that they usually don't focus on too much. In the strategic role, they take care of leadership, development, organizational design, and change in management. In the operational role, they manage functional human resource activities like staffing, education, compensation, which can sometimes take up to 30% of the time. For HR administrators, again, they focus more on the admin side of this. And then we finally have the 60% of the remaining time, which is that administrative role that we're talking about here. By doing activities like processing employee benefits, communication with employees, and record keeping for employees. Each human resources administrator has different duties and responsibilities depending on their industry and organization. So again, it really depends on the company that you work for and the needs of the company, but they are tasked with doing more administrative work. That's why it's in their title. And the HR administrative assistant role requires excellent organizational skills and the ability to handle sensitive information confidentially. Some of the duties and responsibilities of an HR administrator is to maintain the employee records, like employee contracts and other documents that a new employee shares during the onboarding process. All of these documents need to be maintained and physically and digitally as well by scanning it, and this data is stored in the company's records, usually in their HRIS system. The HR admin plays the crucial role of doing this task as some of these documents are very confidential, and you actually get in legal liability trouble if they are released. And the administrator is entrusted by the HR manager to do this task successfully. Any kind of mistake or error here can again lead into some kind of legal trouble, so taking care of this data is a very sensitive process. And the HR admin gathers important information from the new employees and existing employees with regards to payroll data like bank accounts, attendance details, along with many other details about employees that the team can then analyze to better create HR strategies and initiatives. An HR admin onboards employees in an organization's attendance system like the biometric security system to update databases. The new employees provided orientation on how to use the attendance system and also collect the data from the system every month and add it into the payroll system of the organization. Another important task of an HR admin is to assist in the recruitment process. They often have to schedule job interviews and contact candidates. And they play a very crucial role here, especially in assisting and supporting the HR manager in the organization. And often the HR manager will only look as good as the HR administrators that they work with. And the HR manager, again, entrusts this responsibility to the HR admin to be the organization's outward communication. The first impression of the employees who join the organization will depend on the HR admin, as they are the first point of contact for them, as they are scheduling interviews, again, on behalf of the company and sending those emails. This is a very sensitive, important customer-facing role, which is talking to the people who are going to be interviewed, and if that communication goes sideways, then they may not be interested in your company anymore. So again, it has to be carefully done. They also work in the process of collecting documents, background checking, signing contracts, and attending to the questions of employees, as we have mentioned before. Apart from these, they are also entitled to other tasks in small or mid-sized organizations like office facility management, cleanliness of the office space, installation of any new equipment, coordinating and managing snack vendors if your organization is tied to it, gathering employee feedback on cleanliness of facility, food vendors, and these are also the responsibility of the HR admin. Whenever you join an organization as an HR admin, you are trained for carrying out these responsibilities efficiently. The role is very tricky as you have to learn to walk a fine line between employees and the organization. One should always do what's in the best interest of the organization while at the same time meeting employee needs. Every HR admin needs to take care of the employees because they are the company's most valuable assets at the end of the day. And to do that, an HR admin requires some skills to work in an HR department. An HR admin needs to have both soft skills and hard skills. The soft skills relate to social aspects such as empathy, listening, or the negotiation skills. The hard skills, on the other hand, are purely technical in terms of how we are able to carry out the role of an HR administrator with our related knowledge. Out of the two skills, soft skills are the most sought after skills for human resources, although a certain educational background is also required for it. So let me now introduce you to the 5 key skills for an HR admin position. The first skill is to have excellent people skills, as the most important aspect of HR is still people, and that's not going to change anytime soon. This makes them active listeners, which involve paying attention to the overall message in terms of both verbal and non-verbal communication. It is said that a manager spends 25% to 40% of their time dealing with workplace conflicts. It could be a conflict between 2 employees, a labor dispute, a disengaged employee, or a downsizing decision, for which a HR administrator needs to have a solution-oriented attitude to to resolve any kind of conflict. It could be a conflict between two employees, a labor dispute, a disengaged workforce, a hiring mistake, or a downsizing decision. There's a lot of things that can be happening, and HR admins have to immediately find a win-win solution for all the stakeholders involved. And this reminds me of a quote from a famous Irish author, C.S. Lewis: "Integrity is doing the right thing when no one is watching." And practicing integrity is a high code of ethics that HR admins must follow in everything they do, and HR professionals in general. This lets them build an environment of fairness across the organization and makes it a credible place where everyone is willing to go and share their stories and be vulnerable with each other and enable that trust factor with each other. Now let us move on to some hard skills like being tech savvy. The powerful online world has created a great impact on our lifestyle. It helps to connect people in different parts of the world without face-to-face interaction. Concepts like online recruiting, mobile recruiting, online job portals, remote working, internal communication network, online seminar are shaping the way we work, thereby changing the very idea of a workplace. They have to keep up with the ever-changing technology world and use these tools to make their jobs easier. They also need to have organization skills, as it's important to be highly organized in managing your time, records, calendar, and scheduling meetings. I recommend using tools like Calendly and other tools that make booking meetings very easy. The first step here in the career journey is to earn a bachelor's degree in human resources. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, an entry-level degree is necessary to become an HR admin, but not always the case. But it is something that you should look into, or a related degree and studying something in a related field such as finance, business management, and information technology. These are all very important things in the world of human resource management. And it's also important to note that some kind of voluntary certification course can be beneficial to an HR's employment prospects. So you want to look at different certifications, whether that's from SHRM, HR University, or other institutions. Next is to consider getting an internship, as interns not only gain work experience, which is a necessary qualification, but an internship may also be of use when it comes to voluntary certification. The third step is to gain work experience in HR-related occupations, such as human resources specialists. An HR specialist may be generalists, handling all aspects of HR work like recruitment, headhunting, and HR specialists may be administrators who do administrative services. So you can think of compensation and benefits related work. And as I mentioned, definitely consider getting a certification, which will help you stand out in the hiring process. So there are various professional courses available to HRs, and usually you have to pass an exam at the end, and often the exam has multiple takes, so you don't have to pass on the first try, and it doesn't take too long to get these certifications. According to Glassdoor, the average human resource administrator salary in the US can be rounded up to about $52,000, and the typical range for the average salary is between $40,000 and $72,000, with the higher end being offered in cities such as New York and Los Angeles. The HR administrator salary tends to vary depending on the region, industry, and organization that they're in. And the HR admin normally works a standard of 35 to 40 hours a week, and sometimes you may be required to work extra hours at busy times. Prospects are good if you're looking to progress from an HR administrator up the hierarchy to a senior HR assistant and officer advisor roles. You'll find HR opportunities in all kinds of industries, including banks, local government, health services, airlines, hotels, retail organizations, and manufacturing industry. Some multinational companies offer the chance to work abroad. HR is also a good platform for learning about business and moving into other departments. Once you're experienced, you could also set up your own specialist consultancy in the area, such as recruitment. Becoming a great human resource administrator is all about understanding the intricacies of data management as well. It's something we've mentioned a little bit in this video, but let's dive a bit more. You may be assigned to a role in an HR department, be it a generalist, admin, compensation and benefits, or a business, or to work with a business partner. Understanding the business should be your number one priority. HR professionals join an organization thinking that their job is HR, which is managing human resources. But the reality is, in the future, the more they are attuned with the workings of the organization, the better they will be at their jobs. Another important skill is openness to learn and the flexibility to understand that there are changes in the environment which could force them to change their ways. They should also be far more digitally savvy. An HR admin should also get over the fear of technology or become tech savvy to embrace technology as any other function of the HR department, because you might be working with their HRIS system on a daily basis to work with employee records, storing information, and just maybe even analyzing data. And there we have it. We just went over the role of an HR administrator. If you're interested in becoming one, you should now have a better idea of the work involved. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to like it and subscribe to our channel. This way you'll always get the best HR information at your fingertips. And I'll go ahead and I'll see you in the next video. I wish you the best on your HR career path, and cheers.